I was just trying to get an idea of how much money that would save out of the 18. Is that 12 of it, or 15, or?
We would need about $4,500 to cover what has been done so far.
Yeah, $1,467.90, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see it now. If the council doesn't. So we're talking about an increment of 14,000, basically. Because we got to cover what you've already done. It has to be covered somewhere. Sorry, one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then, of the next year, the 18, that is an annual number then? Of the conversion from part-time to full-time, that is a year's worth of that conversion?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Now, as a part-time, we weren't paying him holidays, weren't paying any of that. And we've stuck to that as we go through. But now we're getting close to the 1,000 hours of TMRS, so that's why I needed to get with Tom on it.
Right, but all that's built into the 18. TMRS?
Yes.
All the way through.
So, I agree with the event center being a service for the community, if we can do it. But I do believe it's up to us to make sure it's done effectively, a majority, not, the continuous 20 to 30 out of 7,000. And I also I do believe we owe it to our people to do it efficiently. And so I think we need to start looking at how that place is managed, how we can help the Shirleys, and then I think also job descriptions. What is this gentleman doing? How many hours a day? 8 hours a day? I mean, how do you fill up 8 hours a day at that building? And so we can either get creative with the way we're doing things and, what?
With those two bosses, I can assure you.
Well, that's my point.
Where are we crossing lines between what an event manager should be doing versus what a handyman should be doing? We owe it to, if we're spending tax money, we owe looking into it and being creative.
And also, and now, it's obviously not going to be something that I have any participation in, and I know there's probably somebody in the audience that disagrees with me, and there's a couple up here that disagree with me, but when we talk about bleeding money or anything like that, we're sitting on an EDC war chest right now that is money that can go to, whether it's city services, whether it's paying employees. We are artificially general fund poor because we are restricting ourselves from having money that we could still spend on EDC, but we could still spend on other stuff. And so that's, I think, something that needs to be thought about again in the future, because we're not, the general fund, even getting, we're talking about 4,000 here for, or extra 2,000 for the Krugmobile, and can we fund it? We're talking about 18,000 here, and can we fund it? And we've got a half-cent sales tax that is restricted, that can be used, that in my opinion, would probably be better spent going to the general fund, and then the general fund budgets, sets it out, budgets for EDC like budgets anything else.
I think that
the thing that would help the community center, to me, over and above these nice little things they do, is rentals. And that they seem like, there's some people renting some. I don't know if you've been to Elk Lodge lately, but there's no comparison to what we have and what that is. People are renting.
I'm going to tell you a lot of that, and I've been there firsthand. I hear it all the time. That place could be rented out every weekend. But they make it so hard to rent it. It's like you have to jump over hoops, and you have to do this. You can't do that. You can't do that.
But again, and that is, councils over the years have been very specific, and things come up, and then and that's not defending them or not defending them, but what's there is basically because there's been repeated problems, and then there's attempts to fix the problems going forward.
Exactly.
And that's come from council. That has not specifically come from them. They didn't sit down and write that. Marvin wrote it, and it's usually, again, because something would happen, come to council, now it's time to fix it. So you wind up with,
So one question, Marvin, who supervises this gentleman on 2 days that it's not open? I mean, that's what I wonder, nothing against this guy, but we all have a boss, and if our boss isn't there 2 days a week, then, are we as diligent as we should be? There needs to be some level of supervision during the 40 hours that the center's not open and the supervisors aren't around. Do you have an answer, Marvin, for me?
Yeah, we've got Jeremy running outside operations, so he would monitor what he does. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So does that happen, Gordon, do you think?
Let me clarify that. Jeremy does, if he's needed to go down there, but basically we receive a daily work order a daily job inspection. Are you still receiving that from there, Cassie? In other words, he writes what all he did on a daily deal for that. We receive that weekly. But as far as the orders on the days off, they are given to him from the Shirleys the day before they leave. And then if he needs something from us, then we go down there.
So it's probably loose. I mean, again,
I will say this, and I mean no disrespect if it comes out wrong. According to Marvin, I'm supposed to supervise that per charter. I've asked for that to be removed from my duties, due to the fact of, because of the way it's managed down there.
because it's important, but you've got all these huge water and sewer issues you're dealing with, not whether or not that guy's down there putting chairs out or cutting
Yes,
grass properly.
and that's what he does. His daily duties are to get the building open. They have him pull all that stuff out on the front porch, which I disagree with, and put back on a daily basis.
I wondered who was doing that. I assume they
He
were,
does
but
that.
no,
He does all that work and any other things that they have.
So what do the 2 co-managers do? What are their jobs 3 days a week?
Marvin, you need to discuss that, not
Yes,
yes.
not me. Because I don't know.
Hold on.
No, she said, what do the co-directors do on a daily basis?
What did the Shirleys do?
Yeah, the Shirleys do it on a daily basis.
No, but describe what they do. Marvin, will you describe what the Shirleys do on just a daily basis?
What the Shirleys tell them to do on a daily basis?
No, with Leanne asked what the Shirleys do on a daily basis.
What is their job description? What are they supposed to be doing?
They follow that description. He should have a copy of that.
Okay, I'm gonna retract the question, because there's not an answer.
Well, he's having trouble hearing us. They've obviously not, as their supervisor, I trust that the city manager can describe what they do on a daily basis.
I can describe a little bit. They're basically in charge of the programs that center is operating under. I don't know all the programs, but they have exercise classes and other events. They have a weekly jamboree that goes on. They coordinate that. So basically, not only are they managing the operations of the building, make sure that the employees are there, but they are trying to come up with events and different things like that.
Are they the monitors themselves?
Yes.
It can be, yes.
Yeah.
They're different ones.
Yes.
Traditional thing.
They come up with different events. They've, in the past year, they came up with an event where they started a lunching for the elderly, I believe on Wednesdays. That was solely them to come up with that, and they cook it. They do all that work. So then they've got to turn around and clean.
That other group's not coming in and doing
No.
that
No.
anymore?
Shirley took that away from them a few, and they've actually, people that have actually eaten there have made complaints, I don't know to who, but that was brought to my attention a few, I don't know, last year, that they weren't doing, she wasn't doing it, Shirley's doing it.
They fully coordinate the Tarrant County Food Bank program that you have down there, and then they monitor that program that they started with the clothes and everything on the porch, and continuous. They were heavily before COVID, and with the big events that they were doing, and city council and y'all were closely monitoring that because it was a cost deal, and you were getting reports on each event, when Elvis came to town and all the other events.
you were seeing those reports.
Well, those were packed houses.